This is What If Deku Was a Nephilim, Part 2. And Azuka gets a little bit older. For a while, Azuka has been training and honing his skills. If you guys hear barking outside, that's because my dog's outside. Or chains moving. Now, anyway, Azuku, Azuku discovered his holy powers. His holy power was called I can't think for some reason. It was called complete cancel. No, not like inside of seven deadly sins. Complete cancel would negate anything. So that means if he really thought about what he wanted to negate, he could do anything possible. So that means he could negate the concept of reality for himself, which I'm gonna say he did do. The reason that he did this was to give himself a second holy power. This holy power was time stop. Now, he didn't have a time limit at all. But Azuku vowed, since he did break reality to give himself this ability, he wouldn't use it for a battle. Now, anyway, Azuku then Azuku then grabs his hand, and then he says complete negation. Now when he does this, what he's negating is the sun away from him because it is summer. He is freaking, it is 8th grade. He is ready to go to high school. It is too hot for him to be sweating, going through puberty. And he's a teen. So he negates most of the sunlight away from him. Now, Bakugo's learned his lesson. Bakugo's never tried to fight Izuku again, because there was something about Izuku that was just completely frightening. It's like his internal skills were telling him to stay away. Now, one day, Izuku's house would be broken into, and Izuku would go downstairs, and he would see his mom talking to the man inside of Rose that broke into his house. Now his mom's an angel, so it was literally not a problem. And the person that broke into his home was a girl. And may I tell you, Azuku walks downstairs and instantly says, "God damn, she's thick." And then Inko looks at her, and then, looks at Zuku, and he says, "We are angels, and you just said, 'God damn.' This is why I'm never getting back into heaven." And then she's just irritated with Zuku. He's like, "Chill, chill, chill. Don't get your panties in a bunch." He's like, "Why were you breaking into my house? You look like you have money. You don't look poor, to me, at least." And the girl then says, "The reason why was because somebody hired me. A boy named Bakugo. He was investigating to see if you guys were angels or not. And apparently you guys are. So, yeah, you guys can go ahead and kill me now." And he says, "What are you? Some type of my fucking bad. My bad." Everything's going wrong. He then says, "What are you? Some type of secret spy?" And the girl then says, "Well, no. I I'm just a I'm just a spy. He says, "Isn't that literally what I just asked you?" And then she says, "Oh. I thought you guys were asking, was I a spy for some type of secret company or the government? I'm not a spy for the government. I'm literally just a spy in general." Now, Azuku says, "You looking kinda caked up. How are you trying to go to my room?" Now, surprisingly, the girl just says, "Okay." Azuku just smiling, but inside he is shocked. He is confused on how that worked. Now, of course, we all know because he has um angelic abilities. So he's like, "Hey, mom, uh, since angels take a long time to give birth, how about humans? Can what happens when they give birth?" She then says, "Well, humans, when they give birth to a nephilim, which it would make another nephilim if you were to do that, but it would be even less of an angel. When when a human woman is pregnant, the child usually gets a holy power. It's called a supreme holy power. It's stronger than regular nephilims that are from an angel woman. Basically, their powers are able to take down Hades or God himself. Well, that's how that works." Izuku then says, "Okay." And he walks up to the room with the girl and he give it that and give it that e. Now, I know that's water in the back, but imagine all this, but she's on the room floor and the white stuff in the air. I don't even have to explain what the white stuff in the air is. You already know what is happening. So I'm gonna have to make the joke that I made from last video. Asuku basically just says, "Hey, I think you got a little something in your hair." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she takes it out of her hair and then licks it. Asuku is confused, turned on, and scared. He doesn't know what to feel. But he's like, "Oh, okay. I'ma just go." Now, the girl then pulls him back into the room, which Inko, she walks inside the room because she couldn't hear anything after the first session. And she's like, "Okay, you guys are finally done. So I'm gonna call the cop." And then she opens up the door just to see Azuku with the girl's leg over his head and him inside of a position that is less than satisfying to Inko. And Azuku just stops and he's like, "Oh, hey." And then she's like, I know I'm angelic and I've been on this planet for a long ass time. I've never seen some old stupid shit like this in my entire lifetime. In the millions, not thousands, millions of years that I've been on this planet, I have never walked into something like this." And he's like, "Oh, well, bye." And then he says negate, which he negates the air, which then pushes the air, which then closes the door. And Izuku then uses his the back of his sword to close the door, which he did use the blade set of such a way that it would cut him, but remember, angels heal very fast. So yeah. Now back into the story. Now 10 months of training. Yep, we're getting straight into this. Azuku skipped the last day of school, by the way, and this is 2 days after that went down. So, 10 months of training. Izuku just trained on his sword skills. He's like, well, if I train hard enough, maybe I'll be able to cut reality itself. And he goes ahead and does that, does a few million push-ups, just a regular workout. And after he has, you know, done all of that, he goes to UA, well, the UA training thing to see if he could actually get into the school, passes the exam. And for the robots, bro, Azuku snaps his finger and then says negate. Half of the robots in the arena were destroyed. But the thing was, they were sucked into like inside of a way that looked like Obito shutting on. So it basically looked like he spawned a black hole, which he didn't. But yeah. So everybody's like, the fuck? I didn't even get to my first robot yet, and this nigga is fucking wilding already. And Izuku says, hey, you guys, you should probably duck. My next ability isn't going to be as less deadly. And they all say less deadly. What was less deadly about the first ability? And Izuku says, don't worry about it, just duck. And he swings his sword. And a slash, like basically a Getsuga Tensho, goes flying through the air and slices the robots in half. Which I'm gonna do a toga ship right now. So, yeah, even. Anyway, just know I'll always do a toga ship. Well, almost always. Now, they have to replace the robots, which was fine for Izuku. But when the robots are replaced and everybody's counting down, Izuku notices one girl is missing because, as an angel, he has a photographic memory. The girl's name he thinks was Ochaka Uraka from her introducing herself to the teacher, basically because she was a fan. But basically, Izuku then sees shit. Let me start over. Izuku then hears Ochaka screaming, which everybody else does too. He doesn't have any type of special hearing. But he goes flying and he sees the 0 pointer about to step on her. And then he pulls out a holy sword, his most powerful holy sword, because two of his swords are regular swords and one of them is a holy sword. So he does have 3 swords. And he pulls out the sword. And then straight up, the robot then is hit by a flash of light. And Izuku then says, total decimation. Which, total decimation was basically concentrating all the light in heaven to one place, basically trapping the robot since it's burning and melting onto the ground, and then slashing it into a million pieces with one swing. Well, what looks like one swing, which instantly the robot gets chopped into little tiny cubes and then explodes, which Izuku flies in as soon as he can, as fast as he can, and then picks up Ochako. Now, he then says, wow, how did you get caught? And then she's like, what? He's like, I saw you use a gravity quirk. How did you get caught with a gravity quirk? And then she says, I was kind of off, out of it, not really focused. And he's like, so your life depended on it, and you mean you were not focused? And then she says, yeah, something like that. Izuku face palms so fast. Like, it's unbelievable. But I'm gonna say Izuku's with 3 girls, so I'm gonna change this. 3 girls. Yeah, 3 girls, including Choker. But anyway, Izuku then sheaths his sword, which is glowing, by the way. Holy swords glow. And he then says, see you next time. That's when we'll leave it off. If you guys enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. Introduce me to your friends. And if you're a YouTuber, wouldn't mind a shout out. So, see you. Have a good day.